All right.
Here we go.
So,
Freaky Friday.
part 3.
Part 3.
All
Alyssa's turn again. We're only doing one today.
Yeah.
Sorry, pals.
Ready? Okay. When we bought our house, I was working closing shifts from 2:30 to 11 p.m. and my husband was on morning shifts 6 a.m. to 2:30. So most days we were either home alone or the other person was asleep. During the first few weeks, I began to notice that my husband would be awake when I got home, which he shouldn't have been because he had to get up at 5 a.m. for work. At first, he'd be in bed awake when I got home, and he'd just say he couldn't sleep. But in a few weeks, it progressed to him being in the computer room or in the living room, waiting for me to get home before he went to bed, which wasn't like him at all. I could tell something was bothering him, and he'd just give vague answers and blow it off. One day I was in the bathroom getting ready for work. I can't believe how vividly I remember this, even though it was 7 years ago. I was brushing my hair up into a ponytail. I had both arms up over my head, and suddenly this little girl's voice from my left side, la 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 la. You know when you hear something that startles you and your head instantly snaps towards the sound? I jerked my head down into my left and kind of toward my left armpit because it's exactly where the sound came from. Like someone shorter than me was right there singing.
Nope.
I just froze, glanced back at the mirror, then back to my side, then nothing. I thought to myself, okay, weird. I had to have imagined that, right? When I went back to tying my hair up, la 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 la, again. I looked down and of course, nothing was there. I ran into the hall and looked around. I even opened my front door, and there was nothing and no one anywhere. I was super wound up and texted my husband that a little girl had been singing to me in the bathroom, and his response was, "We need to talk when you get home." I immediately knew there was a reason he seemed so bothered lately, had to be from something similar. When I got to work, everyone could tell that I wasn't my usual self, so I told my friends what had happened. We tried to find explanations, but we were at a loss. I'm 100% sure it wasn't from outside. We have neighborhood kids play outside, and I can hear them out there, and it sounds muffled, not like they're right next to you. All the doors and windows were closed and locked, and the bathroom has no windows or even exterior walls. My husband has done work in the crawl space, so I also know what it sounds like if someone under the house is talking. So that night, when I got home, my husband was waiting up for me. When I told him the story, he seemed so relieved because he'd been having strange things happen but didn't want to scare me or have me think he was crazy. He said he was in bed at night. He kept seeing a floating ball of light come into the room and just float around for a few seconds and disappear.
Nope.
The last straw was when he was in bed, laying on his side with his eyes shut, and felt someone get in bed behind him and then spoon up against him. He told himself it was just one of the cats, but then he opened his eyes and saw both cats were asleep on my side of the bed right in front of him. So who was snuggling up behind him? That's when he started staying up and waiting for me each night. So a couple more weeks go by. The little girl talks gibberish to me a few more times, but I handle it better now. And then my husband goes out of town for a few days for a conference. I was in the master bathroom with a light on, getting ready for bed, and stepped out into the bathroom where I had a lamp on so it wasn't at all dark and my eyes weren't doing a weird adjustment going from a lit room to a dark room thing. I immediately froze because to my right, a glowing ball of light about the size of a baseball floated into the room. It was floating lazily, maybe meandering, into the room at a downward angle, and then it got low enough it shot under the dust ruffle of our bed. You guys, I felt like I was in a scary movie. In just a few seconds, I had the whole conversation with myself in my head. Oh my god, it's under the bed. Do I look? I can't not look, right? This is how people die in horror movies. What are you going to do? Avoid the bed for 3 days and always wonder? Don't be a pussy. So I got down on the floor, got just close enough to touch the dust ruffle with my fingers, but kept my face as far away from as possible. I lifted the fabric, and there was nothing.
I've been freaking searching their house, researching the house to see if there had been something close, anything.
Yep. I would have honestly. Well, now that I'm in real estate, I would have texted my realtor and I've been like, "Hey, do you know anything? Like, be
Were you
honest."
supposed to disclose something? Like,
well, in the state of Indiana, you don't have to disclose anything like that.
You better
but
be disclosing something if it's haunted. If
you also have
something,
to ask the right questions, though, too.
oh, I'll ask them all. Oh God, no! I don't do that. Nope.
Yeah. So, like,
floating orbs.
just
Like, okay, first of all, I wouldn't have used my fingers to come check this. I would have like went and got a hanger and like strained it out as much as I could.
freaking
like,
a broom that's
well,
longer.
you gotta stay in the room. I'm thinking what's ever in the bedroom.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
The fucking lamp.
Poke it under there.
Child, come out.
Yeah.
Fuck,
No.
nope.
Well, here's the thing too: is like orbs. I see them in recordings or pictures all the time, but seeing that crap in person and actually like floating around, no sir.
I mean, that one lady that we follow that has like the skinwalkers, and she's got like the spirits that have attached to her, and she sees the orbs, and she's named the orb or whatever. Like, no
thanks.
I mean, but she's lived with that her entire life.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine moving into a house and finding that.
Nope. So consensus is
no. Hell no.
All right. Well, that concludes week 3.
Peace and blessings.
See you next time.